What's going on YouTube? My name is Ginge TCG or Chris, and today I'm back playing another rogue deck from the past. This one is going to be Okidogi EX, and although this version of the list is not rotation proof, there are a couple cards that are going to leave in a couple weeks. It is very easy to make this deck hang in rotation. With the Chain Crazed attack, you do 260 damage if this Pokemon is poisoned, and that is super easy to do when you are playing a copy of Brute Bonnet with Toxic Powder, where once during your turn, if the Ancient Booster Energy Capsule is attached, you may make both active Pokemon poison. Now, when you do this with Radiant Sneasler in play, that 260 damage then becomes 290 damage with 3 poison counters, and if you have Binding Mochi in play, you can swing for 40 damage more with Okidogi EX, clearing 330 damage, which is enough to take down Dragapult EX and Charizard EX in one shot. Now, I know you're probably thinking, okay, Radiant Sneasler rotates. How do you get around that? You play the Stadium Perilous Jungle, which we play one of them in this list, but during rotation, you can easily take out Radiant Sneasler for a second copy of Perilous Jungle, or during Pokemon Checkup, put 2 more damage counters on each non-dark type poison Pokemon. So you can, like, you could math out pre-rotation, post-rotation, whichever list you want. I just kind of wanted to show off everything since we do have another, about a week or so just over left of this rotation, so I just wanted to have some fun with a couple cards one last time, one of which being Dark Patch, which is going to be a huge card to rotate, and I think the sub for Dark Patch is going to be another copy of the supporter, Janine's Secret Art, where you choose up to 2 of your Dark Pokemon and play, and for each of those Pokemon, you search your deck for a basic Dark Energy, attach it to them, and then poison that active Pokemon if one of them was active, which is another way to poison Okidogi and swing down for some more damage. Now, this is the Dark Box. We are playing a copy of Fezandipiti with Flip the Script, Pecharunt EX with Subjugating Chains to also give ourselves another way to get poisoned, since we can put in our active or take a bench Okidogi EX, move it to the active, and then poison it. We also have Irritated Outburst, which does 60 damage for each prize card your opponent has taken, which is a solid late game finisher. And the single prize Pecharunt with Toxic Subjugation. So I think honestly this deck, looking at this list overall, I kind of like it as a more effective cloth, I guess. Not necessarily more effective, I don't know if that's the word I want to go, just a different way to do it. Instead of using Terapagos, you're using Okidogi, which I believe can swing harder more consistently than Terapagos, but you can also take Donk KO. So if you're going first, turn 1, you can get Pecharunt, the single prizer, in the active with Pecharunt EX to move it to the active. You can then, with Brute Bonnet, you can then poison your opponent's active Pokemon, and if it's a basic unevolved Pokemon such as Budew, Dreepy, Charmander, Pidgey, you can kind of KO them with poison via Toxic Subjugation, where you put 5 more damage counters on your opponent's poison Pokemon during checkup. So if you pair that with Radiant Sneasler and Brute Bonnet, you can easily KO those basics. Now the rest of the deck runs very, very simply. We're playing Precious Trolley to make sure we're getting all our basic Pokemon down. We got 1 Hisuian Heavy Ball, and this is probably the worst card that rotates, honestly, from the set, or from this deck, just because Heavy Ball is such an underrated card in so many decks. I mean, it's so effective. It just, I prized Radiant Sneasler, boom, Radiant Sneasler. I prized an Okidogi EX, a Fezandipiti that I need right now, boom. Let me get those out of the prize cards. I think losing this, there's no great replacement. I think losing other cards like, Dark Patch, which I mentioned could be another Janine's, and then you could make the other one another Rod or something like that, another Vessel to get more energy. Just kind of keep looping energy. Maybe another Pal Pad, which we do play 1 of in this deck. Most of the cards are cuttable, with the exception of Heavy Ball. I feel like that one is going to leave the biggest gap. Hisuian Electrode V is really just there for the Charizard matchup and really any other dark decks we may come across. I don't think that it's a super necessary basic Pokemon. I think that one you can easily cut for another Okidogi EX, maybe even another Pecharunt or Fezandipiti EX, just because Heavy Ball rotates. So in case you prize one, that could be a huge backup. Or even a 3rd Munkidori. We are playing 2 Munkidori in this deck. There is a chance, especially against like Dragapult. Okidogi is a very tanky Pokemon. We might not be getting one-shot. So if we could get a Munkidori down on the bench and move damage counters off, it could really ruin our opponent's, like prize mapping, damage counters, especially with Dragapult being so popular right now. So I don't really mind cutting another Hisuian Electrode for Munkidori. Now the rest of the list, in terms of supporters, looking at 3 Arven for the setup, followed by 2 Colress's Tenacity, where you can search out a town store to get those Ancient Booster Capsules or Binding Mochis. or a dark energy that's needed to get in the discard pile to use Dark Patch or just get in the hand of manual attached swing. We got 2 copies of Carmine if we're going for that dunk on our first turn going first. We could use Carmine to discard our hand, draw 5 cards. 2 copies of Janine's Secret Art for some more energy acceleration, as well as 1 Boss's Orders, 1 Penny, and 1 Xerosic Machinations, which I think is an awesome one of in this deck just because you can really get some great hand disruption with that card. And then we're playing 1 copy of Pal Pad. So if we need another Boss's Orders, Penny, something like that, you know, we could Pal Pad those types of supporters back, or even another Arven if we think we're going to need a certain item in the late game. We have a lot of, energy search in the deck via 3 energy, oh my god, I literally can't talk, I apologize. Via 3 Earthen Vessel is what I was trying to get at. With 3 Earthen Vessel, we can discard a card from our hand and take 2 energies from our hand, attach one of them, and then even use Energy Switch to move an energy onto a Pokemon like Munkidori or Pecharunt, or even Okidogi, you know, if we need another attachment there. And I think that combos very nicely with Janine's for more energy acceleration, because we can effectively get 2 energy with 1 Janine's on an active Okidogi EX. If we get 1 energy to Okidogi, we use an Energy Switch to move that other energy to Okidogi, and then boom, manual attachment. Now we're swinging in 1 turn, you know, getting 3 energy down. So I think I really do like the 2 copies of Energy Switch. I don't know if I necessarily feel the need for a 3rd one, but I wouldn't be opposed to it if that's another thing you're looking to switch out for a Hisuian Electrode. Now, in terms of the rest of the items, I mentioned we got Precious Trolley. We do have a lot of Pokemon search just to make sure we're getting our Pokemon in play when we need them. We got 3 Nest Balls, 2 Ultra Balls, 1 Hisuian Heavy Ball, and 2 Night Stretchers just to take Pokemon or energy back from the discard pile. Now, other than that, I'm pretty sure that's just about it for the list. I mean, y'all have seen Dark Box before. I just feel like no one has seen it in a while. So I thought, hey, you know what? Let's bring it back. And before we get into today's video where I show that off, I just wanted to remind everyone, I believe I talked about it on the final episode of Season 2 from the podcast. Season 3 will be starting very soon, but there is a Creators Cook-Off tournament on April 5th. So Chef Husky has organized this massive tournament with a bunch of Pokemon TCG content creators that will be in a massive showdown on the best deck creator / pilot. So definitely tune into that. My role in it will be a little different than playing in the tournament. I will be casting the tournament alongside Chef Husky. So I just want to give a big shout out to Chef for organizing it and allow me to take such an epic role and be there to announce all the different matches and plays across the tournament with him. So definitely tune into that on April 5th. Now, again, just one more small thing. If you haven't seen it, I got that TCG player affiliate link in the description down below. So if you're going to TCG player for any decks, singles, or deck accessories for any card game, doesn't matter what, make sure you hop on over to TCG player via my link in the description, and it really supports the channel in a huge way. So thank you so much to everyone who's been doing that. Now, with that being said, let's hop into today's video and see how well Okidogi EX can do. Welcome to match number 1. Honestly, we open up with the solid hand. What's nice about this deck is we really don't care if we go first or second, so we are going second. I'm just going to lead Latias. It doesn't reveal what I'm playing. Maybe my opponent will play a certain Pokemon that we can take an easy KO on with a single prize Pecharunt. All I know is our hand is honestly a little rough. I think we might actually just have to go in with the single prize Pecharunt because I don't know if we could pull off any other sort of attack. If my opponent does move Iron Bundle out of the active, there's a good chance we could take it down. And they're playing a Steel deck, so probably Archaladin if I had to take a guess. That's a little tricky, but I think we can hang. They swing for 220 with Archaladin EX, and we can one-shot KO them with the full, you know, Poison Binding Mochi package. So we definitely have it in us to take it down. And my opponent already has 2 energy in the discard, and there's the Duraludin. Yeah, they're definitely playing Archaladin. Okay, that's fine. I mean, you know, just like I said, we'll get the single prize Pecharunt. If they KO it with Archaladin next turn, we'll just get access to Fezandipiti, which is nice. And they'll go Carmine. Man, they're built for going turn 1. You know, getting their Pokemon down so they can evolve. That's smart. They'll lose a boss and a Turo, which is going to be huge in case we whiff the KO. I don't mind seeing Turos at the discard pile, but ideally I do want to one-shot their Pokemon and see if I can force them to struggle a little bit swinging into us. Now, my opponent is going to play some more, and I am itching that they somehow play any card to get Iron Bundle out of the active. That Squawk ability is going to be a huge Pokemon for us to go boss KO, and their ace spec in the deck is Maximum Belt, which will help them Oko and Okidogi EX. There's not much I can really do about that Max Belt, but that's alright. You know, we can handle one shot. It's when my opponent's able to one-shot continuously, like Raging Bolt, that I think we struggle a little bit more. My fault, I'm just changing up the music. But yeah, no, I think overall we can do this. Let's see, with Pecharunt, I don't think we can do 100 poison damage a turn. And they already attached a Duraludin, so we're not going to look at a retreat. They're going to keep Iron Bundle in the active because they already know we better retreat. You know, we're playing Latias. We're not keeping that Pokemon in play. And we get out Earthen Vessel. I'm trying to think if I can play that. Alright, for now, let's go Nest Ball. Let's take out a single prize Pecharunt. I kind of want to use like every card on my hand. I just wish I could. We definitely need a single prize Pecharunt and a Brute Bonnet to get some big poison damage down. Now, I could boss up a Pokemon like Fez, or even this Duraludon here, just to get some good damage onto it nice and early. I don't mind that. How do I want to do this? I don't really want to Vessel any of these cards away. I feel like I kind of need all of them. So I think the best play for us is going to go Boss on something that we want to deal with immediately. You know what? Give me the Duraludon. And if my opponent plays Iron Bundle, I'll just give him Radiant Sneasler. We got Brute Bonnet. Or I could give him Brute Bonnet. It doesn't really matter what. Right now, I am going to use Toxic Powder, though, because all we need to do is make sure they're poisoned and taking a bunch of damage. So we'll use our free retreat, go into the single prize Pecharunt, and then from here, we can pass for turn. Now, I didn't play Fezandipiti because I don't want my opponent to go Boss KO. And our Archaladon does play a whole lot of Boss. Right now, if they don't have an Evolution plus a Manual attached, they will whiff, you know, the KO, but they got 7 cards on hand. We didn't take a KO, so they can't use Flip the Script. There's a good chance, though, that they got everything they need to attack this turn. We can fall down 1 prize. Fezandipiti's going to really have to clutch up, though, and draw me some big cards. But I believe, I mean, drawing 3 is huge. And they're going to use Hyper Blower. I will give them Radiant Sneasler. I feel like we could live without it the most in general. Now, they might be doing that just because they don't have the evolution, in which case they actually would live this attack, and that could be vaguely problematic, but we'll see. They got the Vessel away to get rid of more energy, so yeah, they just need some sort of evolution, some sort of supporter card in their hand, and they'll pull it off. There's the manual attachment, and there's the Ultra Ball for the evolution. Yeah, they got KO, so it doesn't really matter who we gave them, as long as it wasn't Latias. We just don't want my opponent to take 2 prize cards here. We just wanted to hold them down to 1 prize card. That was the goal. That's the whole goal of Pecharunt. It'll buy us enough time to flip the script and get rolling after that. Now, we're going to need an insane, you know, top deck plus flip the script. We're going to need an insane, I don't know why I held up 5 fingers. We're going to need an insane 4 cards, but that's doable. Now, my opponent will heal out of the poison since they did evolve, and when you evolve your Pokemon, you do get rid of any status effects, and they'll play the research, getting rid of a whole lot of supporters. Yeah, they're already down 2 Iono, 2 Carmine, Turo, and Boss. Now, you haven't seen much. Ooh, that's a fun Pokemon to see. I love seeing a single prize Scyther. I love that single prize Scizor. It's going to swing hard against our deck, and that is going to be problematic. I don't know if it'll swing for KO on an Okidogi EX, but it will definitely come close, and that is terrifying. So, for now, we'll throw up Pecharunt in case I don't have a great Pokemon to retreat into. We'll definitely... Colress' Tenacity is nice. I don't know if that's totally the supporter I want, though. I mean, I don't think so. I'm going to flip the script here. Hope I get a different supporter. If this is the only supporter I got, I'll play it. We'll make it work. Janine Secret Art is kind of nice, except for the fact that I don't have any Pokemon in play. So maybe I try to go for some sort of KO. You know, we could stop them from retreating with Poison Chain. We could, like, bring up... Like, if I had Janine Secret Art, get an energy onto... Whew, this is a mess. Okay, alright, let me thin the deck. Let me get rid of 1 energy, because I like Counter Catcher. We're definitely going to Janine Secret Art here. I'm going to try to hope they don't have another Turo in hand. I guess on Fez. Yeah. I don't know. If they have Turo and they can just pick up, like, you know, we're cooked. It is what it is. We'll use Janine Secret Art, and we'll smack down a couple energy on Pecharunt and Fez. We could always energy switch off of the Fezandipiti, but now it's just, you know, it's got an energy there in case that ever becomes relevant. We'll smack another energy here. I guess here. Yeah, we already lost Radiant Sneasler. I'll poison them and hope this damage can stay a little bit. You know, kind of hope they're stuck in the active spot. They can't retreat, which is nice with Poison Chain off the single prize Pecharunt. So, you know, if they do have the attach retreat, or the Turo, excuse me, so be it. You know, we'll go down 2 prize cards. I'll use Flip the Script again, but if they use Turo, they're not using Boss's Orders, which means they're not taking 2 prize cards, and that's going to help us out a good bit. They got the Metal Energy back from discard. They're going to attach it to Fezandipiti, but I don't know if they read Poison Chain, because you do poison your opponent's active Pokemon, and again, they can't retreat. So it just buys us a little bit of time to hopefully get rumbling a little bit more. And then next turn, I can use Colress' Tenacity to get Perilous Jungle, and though that actually might be enough for Fezandipiti to die, which would be awesome. Black belt's training, man. Okay, yeah, so they've got multiple ways to one-shot our Okidogis. That's annoying. I honestly hope that they just Ultra Ball that away immediately. And they get Carmine. Yo, please, Carmine. They're going to deck themselves out, which I'll be fine with. You know, we'll play this as a single prize Pecharunt Poison box. We don't need to use Okidogi. If this is how we got to show off match number 1, this is how we got to show off match number 1. I mean, we're up against one of the most notoriously tanky decks in the format right now. And I'm taking it down with a little poison damage, which you don't get to see too often. So, they have 80 HP left. You know, we actually can KO them if we did not prize our stadium. Ooh, and we got the Night Stretcher to get back Radiant Sneasler in case we did, but no. We are golden. So we will take out Perilous Jungle. Right? Or do I take out Town Store? You know what? Actually, I might take out... Nah, I'll take out Perilous Jungle. Because there is a chance I might need this Night Stretcher next turn for someone else. I'm just going to hold the energy in hand. I'm going to play the stadium. So now they're taking, I believe, 8, right? Put 2 more. They should be taking 6. I'm not sure. Did I mismath this? 5, 6, 7, 8. No, we should be good. And I'm doing 10 damage. Yeah, we should be alright. We should be taking 2 prize cards here, which is really all I need. We'll do 10 damage, and then they'll take 8, 6, what? Why did they not? Because they're taking 6, 10 damage, and then poison is 5 more damage counters. So that's 6 in total. And then plus 2 is 8. What? Why didn't that work? Alright. I don't know if I mismathed that, but they should have gotten KO'd there. So I guess it's not the end of the world, because they can't retreat. So if they just pass, it goes back to our turn. We're essentially in the same boat. Alright, we'll still take 2 prize cards. We're kind of in the same boat. That actually might be better for us. I'm not really sure. I kind of expected Pecharunt to get KO'd there. I don't know what's going on, but I'll rock with it, I guess. They'll give me the Archaladon EX, which is good. I'll get more damage done to that, no problem. I'll use Hisuian Heavy Ball. And I'm not going to get anything. We pressed 2 energy in Arven and Earthen, or Ancient Booster Capsule. It's not ideal, but, you know, for the time being, it's the best we got. I'm going to use Adrenabrain to move 30 damage counters off this guy onto Archaladon, maybe? Yeah, you know what? The more damage on this guy, the better. I'm so tempted to go Night Stretcher for Sneasler. But I know it's not going to help us. Because I'm going to need Night Stretcher for Pecharunt, single prize Pecharunt back. If I don't flip the script into, again, like, better Pokemon, I'm just going to have to go in with another single prizer. I'll just Poison Chain. You know, it's gotten us this far. They should be taking 8 damage counters a turn. Now they are. What? Did I just mismath horribly? Why did that not happen last turn? Nothing changed. Oh, well. Okay. I mean, that's fine. So now... they'll take poison damage when it comes back to us. Actually, you know what? I think if they just stay poisoned in the active, they'll KO themselves at the end of the turn. They're going to use Counter Catcher, take out probably Fezandipiti. Yeah, so they'll take 2 prize cards this turn too. That's fine. I'll Night Stretcher Fez back, and I'll just promote the single prize Pecharunt again. It's not the end of the world. You know, we'll go to work. I thought this was an Okidogi deck, but that's why I labeled it as a dark box, because I always know that I have these plans for how, you know, the deck's going to go, and I'll practice it a little bit just to get familiar, and then boom, all of a sudden I'm in round 1 trying to show off, you know, the plan I was talking about, and I'm already going so far off the course. But, you know, that's why we love the game. You know, it would be a boring game if every game was that predictable and that easy to just play through, or at least it would be a boring deck, more or less. At least for me, I like decks that got this type of versatility. It's like, yeah, we got a main way to play the game, but I'll still keep pace with the backup attacker, because you know you got a good deck when the backup attacker is taking names. They can Night Stretcher here all they want. Actually, you know what? They're only taking 3 damage counters between turns because of the Pecharunt that's on the bench now. I didn't really think of that either. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's fine. They're going to get 1 energy attached to Archaladon, 1 attached to... oh, no. Actually, is it to 1 Pokemon, or is it to your Pokemon in any way you like? Yeah, wait, why didn't they... oh, they don't have another energy. I was going to say, why didn't you get an energy on Scizor? And they're going to get rid of the Black Belt training. That's huge. I got 8 cards left in the deck. There is actually a chance that we could deck our opponent out in this game. That would be pretty sweet, if I do say so myself. No Pal Pad back. We'll see what. I would assume Boss's Orders and Turo. Alright, so it's not any of the damage boosting supporters, but Boss could be problematic. Alright, that's alright. That's okay. So, my opponent is going to be at 230 damage done this turn, which is good, because now they'll get KO. Oh, that's right. Because they took a KO, we moved Pecharunt to the active. Yeah, they'll get KO'd now. That's so big. That's so big. I'm so tempted to go Budew. How many? They're down 3 gears. Man. You know, they could go boss on Latias no matter what. I might as well just take Fez back. Because if they could go boss KO on Latias, like, we're already losing, what do you call it? 2 prize cards. So we might as well just take the Fez, get 3 cards. And actually, I could Munkidori for KO here, which is huge, too. Oh, my gosh. Wait. Why are we cooking? So we'll Adrenabrain. They gave me the... They put the wrong Pokemon in the active spot. We're going to move 2 damage counters onto this guy. Take 2 more prize cards. This deck is ridiculous. This is insane. Like, abusing my opponent with poison damage. And we get Arven? Oh, nah, stop playing. Stop playing, bro. Give me that guy. What? Give me your Arch Paladin. We gotta go Nest Ball for probably what? We didn't even play Precious Trolley. Give me Binding Mochi and give me Ultra Ball. So I can thin my hand a little bit. I could get rid of Budew, an Ancient Booster Capsule, maybe. I don't hate that. And then I could take Okidogi EX. Or Pecharunt. Pecharunt could probably swing for a lot too. Actually, Pecharunt might swing for... Pecharunt might be the better play here. I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do Pecharunt. Because with Binding Mochi, Pecharunt will deal whatever damage we don't. Is already done on this guy with poison. So let's do that. Let's do that. Let's Ultra Ball. Let's get rid of Budew and Ancient Booster Capsule. Because why not? Let's take out Pecharunt EX. For the reason that is just 2 manual attachments. I mean, we could get it done with Energy Switch, but if I don't have to, I don't want to force it. I don't know. This guy will be swinging for a ton no matter how many prize cards my opponent's taken. We should be alright. So we'll use Poison Chain here. Get 9 damage done to my opponent. 10 from the attack, and then 8 from Poison. And then by the time they take a KO, they could boss up Latias, Fezandipiti, Pecharunt EX. It doesn't matter if they... I guess the worst one they could do is Pecharunt EX, in which case I'll Night Stretcher it back. I'll use my Energy Switch to get an energy back attached, and then I'll take the KO on our Paladin. Boom, problem solved. Yeah, it's fine. That's fine. This is why I like the Pecharunt. You know, if they did that to Okidogi, we would have been in trouble because we wouldn't have had a great way. We needed to get a manual attachment this turn, whereas Pecharunt, 2 energy, very easy to set up. They take 2 prize cards, we're swinging for 300 damage because we're taking 60 a prize card that they've taken. So this is ideal. Yeah, we're fine here. All right. This deck is nuts. Yeah, we won the whole game 1 without a single Okidogi in play. We didn't play our ace spec, nothing. Nothing. Alright, bet. We'll throw a Pecharunt, the single prizer. They'll take even more poison damage, just cause. And the reason being, if you're confused why that is, they take the KO, and then before the Pokemon checkup phase, we have to put a Pokemon in the active spot. So we just throw out Pecharunt EX, boom, extra damage, which I forgot about when I was explaining the deck intro. So I'm happy y'all can witness that live. We'll Night Stretcher Pecharunt back, smack Pecharunt down. We'll get a little energy down. We will get a Binding Mochi down. We'll use E-Switch, move an energy from Pecharunt to other Pecharunt. We'll use our free retreat to go into Pecharunt EX, and my opponent will just scoop. Yeah, or we could use Pecharunt EX's ability, poisoned ourselves, or I was going to use the what do you call it, Brute Bonnet ability to poison ourselves, swing for extra. Doesn't matter. Either way that our Paladin was cooked. That's match 1. Wrapped up. Pecharunt type game. Alright, match number 2. We gonna hopefully see some more Okidogi action. I'll see y'all there. Welcome to match number 2. And if I've ever seen a starting hand, this is it. My opponent is taking a mulligan, and they are playing Pikachu VMAX. Oh, nah. I got no idea what's going on. They got a Pikachu box because they got the single prize Pikachu EX by the looks of the metal and the fighting energy, or metal and grass energy as well. Gonna be interesting. We can take down Pikachu via the poison though if they heal, because then they'll heal from Resolute Heart and then take the poison damage. They're playing a Joltik box. Love to see it. Love to see it. Just played a Joltik box on the channel. A lot of people seem to really like that deck, so I'm interested to see how they're running their Joltik box. That being said, it's gonna be a very straightforward match for us in terms of what we could take down. I mean, you know, deal with Joltik. They're going first. They're not going to be able to use Jolting Charge. If they went second, they could have used Jolting Charge. Then I would have been a little more scared. But right now it's going to be almost insanely easy with Precious Trolley and Ancient Booster Energy Capsules to just take an instant KO and deal with Joltik before they fully set up. And they're going to get 2 Pikachu EXs down right now. Again, I could deal with those. via the Brute Bonnet play, because it'll poison my opponent's active as well as my own. Poisoning my own is huge for Binding Mochi and stuff, but poisoning my opponent's active is huge if you want to deal with Pokemon like Pikachu EX that got Resolute Heart. So if you're missing what I'm saying, we're gonna one-shot them with Okidogi, right? They're gonna drop down to 10 HP because they would be full HP, and then they wouldn't be knocked out. They'll have 10 left, and then the poison damage will come into play and KO the Pikachu immediately after, because the Pokemon checkup phase is in between the player's turns. So on their turn, they heal to 10. Or technically on my attack. But then the Pokemon checkup phase is when they'll get KO'd. So they'll attach the energy to Joltik. And I'm going to Precious Trolley. I'm going to take down Brute Bonnet. I'm going to take down Single Prize Petra, Okidogi. We'll go Latias for the free retreat pivot. I don't really need to, though, because I got the I got Okidogi EX, which should be good enough. Give me Fezandipiti, and honestly, give me another Okidogi, right? Set up 2 of these guys. I don't even hate Munkidori, to be fair. But if they set up Pikachu EX, it'll be pretty easy for them to just walk through on Okidogi. Give me a second one, just in case. Give me a second one. I don't know why I'm playing that Hisuian Sneasler. I'm about to cut that. Match number 3, that Hisuian Sneasler is about to be a 4th Arven. Because I really just, like, don't need it. Let's attach this energy here. Let's use our Subjugating Chains ability. Throw Pecharunt in the active spot. Doesn't really matter what order I did it. Pecharunt would be poisoned too. Then we'll Toxic Powder. Just make sure Joltik falls and they don't get the most energy set up. I'll then use Janine's Secret Art to get 2 energy down on Okidogi EXs. Doesn't really matter which do I Ultra Ball here too? I don't even know what I would get rid of. I could manual attach. I could Ultra Ball. Honestly, I don't see the point. I think for now I'm just going to pass. Let my opponent's Joltik fall. I think we're in a good enough spot. I don't know if there's a great way my opponent can set up an attack next turn and actually deal with Pecharunt, so I could just poison my opponent's active again and just keep going live. I could have taken Radiant Sneasler, but like, when I have the option not to at this point, I don't think I'm going to. Just to practice for post-rotation. If I needed it, to keep up with decks that are still in our rotation. Because I think it's important to practice rotation, but I think that's nice when you're playing with friends and you can play on like tabletop simulators and stuff. When you're playing on the ladder, you're playing up against pre-rotation decks, which means they're going to have tools that you're limiting yourself to not having. So I think just having the tools and choosing not to use them is a great way to practice. Because you also play with essentially like a smaller deck, which has pros and cons. But then if you need the tool to deal with their tools, you know, then you use it when it's appropriate. But I think right now, like this Okidogi easily could have been a Radiant Sneasler. I'm not going to, you know, worry too much. I think against a deck like my opponent's, I really don't think those 2 damage counters from poison, knock on wood, will really come into play. All that matters is we can poison them to just deal with these guys. This is so weird. I can't click on this Pikachu, but I can click on this one. And they got their own Arven and Pikachu V to evolve into Pikachu V Max this turn. That is really funny to see. When I say Pikachu VMAX was not on the list of cards I expected to see in today's video, I mean it. So my opponent is going to get a switch and a Power Glass down. Are they going to switch into Pikachu EX? No, that would be crazy. I'm not going to lie. They might. I'll still kill it this turn. I don't care. I ain't afraid of nothing. I'll set up an Okidogi this turn. I'll Ultra Ball away 2 energy, I'll Ultra Ball away energy Town Store. Oh my god, they might. Who are they gonna switch into? They got Power Glass on Pikachu. We could boss it up too. We're gonna take a K on this Pikachu this turn. We're gonna do it. All right. Just kind of bully my opponent into, and an Energy Switch. Oh my gosh, I could just attach Energy Switch, but I kind of want to do some thinning. I don't need Town Store or this energy here. I'm going to take out Munkidori. Yeah, why not? Let's take out Munkidori. I'm going to use... not Brute Bonnet yet. I'm going to use Boss's Orders. Give me this Pikachu. I'm then going to use Subjugating Chains. Oh my god, wait, I did that too early. Oh, I'm such a bum. I was supposed to Dark Patch first. Okay. I think we can still pull it off because of Energy Switch. But I'm for real a bum for that. Alright, it's okay. It's okay. We're just gonna play everything from my hand. We're still fine. Like, we got the KO. That was a really embarrassing way to mess up that whole play. So my fault. We'll then go Toxic Powder. Poison their Pikachu as well. Thank God we had the E-Switch in hand. This is why 2 E-Switch is needed. This is why. It's not to fix the energy. It's because I'm going to misplay every chance I get. So yeah, then they'll heal 10 damage from Resolute Heart. We'll do 10 damage via Poison. We'll take 2 more prize cards. My opponent now is down to Power Glass, another Grass Energy, and a Pikachu EX. I don't know how they recover from this. We could have taken Joltik, but honestly at this point, like, I'll take out Joltik for Munkidori. Like, what? That's nuts. That is nuts. We'll see what my opponent's got. I might not even Carmine this turn, to be fair. Actually, no, I should. Because if they KO my... Or if they just set up energy and KO my active the following turn of Pikachu EX, all I gotta do is swing with my backup Okidogi. So I don't think it'll matter too much. You know what I could even do? I could use Pecharunt EX to switch into my single prize Pecharunt. And then just leave a single prize on the active. That's probably the smarter way to go about it. Unless, no, I only play 1 boss. So yeah, I can't top deck boss. I already used it. Yeah, that's probably what I'll do. I'll probably just use Subjugating Chains, switch into Pecharunt, single prize, go Brute Bonnet, poison their active, KO it via poison. If they want to use boss's orders, take a 2 prize KO, be my guess. We'll have 2 prizes left. I'll hopefully be that much closer to using Okidogi. I'll Carmine this turn too. If I need Munkidori, I'll just, what do you call it? Night Stretcher back, and they get a whole bunch of Pikachus down. This is crazy. This is not what I had in mind when I was thinking of Joltik box. I was worried about Iron Hands and Regigigas and stuff, which honestly we actually had a good chance of dealing with pretty well, because this is neither Iron Handsable nor is it what do you call it, Regigigasable, and they're just gonna boss up Brute Bonnet, which is an interesting play because I do have Pecharunt EX down, so I could just switch into the single prize Pecharunt rather easily. And they attach to Pikachu. They can't even Jolting Charge. I'm so lost. I don't know what my opponent is going for, but I'm not going to sweat it too much. Janine Secret Art does go kind of crazy. It really does. I think I'll play that. Why not? I don't need to Carmine. We're beating up my opponent pretty bad. I'll get an energy down on this Pecharunt here. Pecharunt EX is nice. Not going to work too well when my opponent has not taken a single prize, so I'll just get a bunch of energy down across both Okidogis. I'll use Subjugating Chains, throw up the single prize Pecharunt, and then I'll use Brute Bonnet's ability to poison the active. And then I'll pass for turn. Take the KO, see how my opponent responds. I think we just have game on board one way or another. Even if they go Iono or something crazy, we got energy in hand too. Oh my god. If they Iono, they can't Iono boss though. They have to make sure their ace spec is like Unfair Stamp and then boss's orders to take out this Okidogi. After setting up energy, yeah, there's no way. We definitely got game. Just simply on board. We've got energy in hand. We're gonna have 2 Okidogis set up. We got Brute Bonnet with the Ancient Booster Energy Capsule attached, so we can poison their active if we need to use Pecharunt. Or I guess Craze Chains kind of needs the poison too. Or no, it doesn't actually. Because if it's this Pokemon scared, yeah, we got Pecharunt. You can't get rid of both Brute Bonnet and Pecharunt, so I'm not worried about poisoning my own Okidogi. If you boss up Brute Bonnet, take the KO, I'll go in with an Okidogi. Yeah, we're fine. We're good. There's nothing to worry about this match. We were here to take names. We came here to play, man. My opponent wasn't. My opponent wasn't ready for all that. We'll use Subjugating Chains, throw up Okidogi, poison ourselves, poison our opponent, or just poison ourselves, which is fine. We'll just swing 260. I don't need a Brute Bonnet. No need to poison them. We'll just take our last 2 prize cards and move on. They should have gone in with the Pikachu, but if they did that, we just go Brute Bonnet, take the KO via poisoning themselves. So we had game again, no matter what my opponent did. Ridiculous match number 2. We're up 2-0 for the day. Match 3 is where the make or break is for the perfect record, or just a guaranteed positive record. It's safe to say, I think we could go 3-0. I'll see you out there. Let's see if we can take down our third opponent. Welcome to match number 3. We are taking a mulligan, not totally revealing what I'm playing, and I'll go in with the single prize Pecharunt. Now, our hand is not that bad if we were going second. Going first, it's a little questionable. If we had Precious Trolley, have the KO on Rotom, and my opponent has 2 Pokemon down, so it actually really doesn't matter. That's fine. Alright, so if that's the case, they'll probably, they could take a KO turn 1. This actually might be Raging Bolt, which would be pretty interesting. Now, I could Carmine. Actually, you know what? I might Carmine. Let me get rid of Night Stretcher, Arven. Yeah, I'll Carmine. I might as well. We'll take down maybe an Okidogi. Actually, no, I should take down Brute Bonnet so that I could Ancient Booster Capsule, get full value out of absolutely everything I can. Let's do that. Because if I could KO my opponent's active, I would love to. I'll get an energy attached to the active, just in case. I feel like it's better that than Brute Bonnet, and we'll draw into a fine hand. I lied. We don't really have any search, so I could poison my opponent's active. They'll take, what, 6 damage counters? That's not totally enough. We need them to take a little more. I'll go in with the Stadium. I want to stop them from using Fan Call. That's huge. That's so big. I'm not going to use Dark Patch yet. I'm going to try to wait. Our hand is super dead going into the next turn. Hopefully this prize card is like Arven. If it's Arven, I get down Precious Trolley, we're good to go. We're golden. If it's, I don't know, Ultra Ball, it's not great. I could get rid of Ancient Booster Energy Capsule in the top deck, and I could get 2 energy down on a bench Pokemon. They'll get rid of the Stadium, get Jamming Tower. That's actually fine, because we don't need the effect of Ancient Booster Energy Capsule. We just need it attached. So Toxic Powder will still work, funny enough. My opponent's going to Teal Dance. As of right now, they don't have the KO, and there's the Electric Energy in the discard pile. 100% playing Raging Bolt. That's fine. We could take Raging Bolt, especially if they don't have an awesome hand. We'll just get some great damage down early on Teal Mask Ogerpon. Could potentially be KO we try to do with the single prize Pecharunt if possible. Then we can deal with 2 Raging Bolts with 2 Okidogis, assuming I could even get 2 in play. Now, if my opponent does take a KO this turn, I will Ultra Ball, get Fezandipiti down. No, they're just going to pass. That's crazy. That's alright. What we got top deck? We got Arven. Good night. Good night. Precious Trolley. Binding Mochi. So just go to work. Let's go to work. Let's Precious Trolley. Get all my Pokemon down. I want Fez. I want Okidogi. And I got another spot. I might even go another Okidogi, just like last match. I don't necessarily need a Munkidori. I don't necessarily need another Pecharunt. I could need an Okidogi if my opponent bosses KOs one. If they KO Fezandipiti, they KO Fezandipiti. I'd rather have already 2 Okidogis in play. We don't need Latias because I got Pecharunt EX down. So that's okay. I'll use Toxic Powder, get my opponent's active nice and poisoned since the tool is still attached. I'll get an energy attached here. And I'll Dark Patch. They might play Iona next turn. So then all we need is 1 energy with Okidogi EX. I'm not going to play Binding Mochi yet. I am going to hold that. See what tools my opponent is playing. Actually, you know, I could have done some Poison Chain. It just would have been 10 extra damage, though. They wouldn't have been able to retreat. That could have been huge, but whatever. We'll set up the Okidogi. We'll just pass for a turn. Wow, that actually would have been nuts. Maybe I should have Poison Chained. Because they most likely didn't have a way to get Teal Mask Ogerpon out of the active without switching. Or without retreating, excuse me. Missed opportunity. Alright, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. Because this set up Okidogi a turn sooner could actually be a make or break. Like, could actually be the most game-changing thing. Depending on how good my opponent's turn is this turn. Now, they didn't have any supporters. At least nothing that they could play. They might have, like, a Sada in hand, but that Raging Bolt that just hit the bench, it really didn't mean anything. If they have Sada in the retreat, I'll regret not using Poison Chain. They just scoop. Good night. Good night. The deck is simple, bro. The deck is simple. They took the KO there. If they retreated, took the KO on Pecharunt, we just went Fez, boom, KO with Okidogi. I know we were drawing an Arven, a Colress's Tenacity, Janine's Secret Art, Earthen Vessel, or an Energy. Like, we had so many different cards we could have top decked or flipped the script into. There's no way we weren't hitting it, taking the KO on their active. And if they got a tool down to boost the HP, boom, Binding Mochi. Stop playing. What? That's it. That's it. Easy. Match number 3. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I definitely had a ton of fun making it. I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. And for real, thank you guys so much for all the support recently. I appreciate every single one of y'all. And again, April 5th, Creators Cook-Off. Y'all best tune into that tournament. I will be casting. It's going to be my first casted event ever. It's always been something I kind of wanted to do, kind of wanted to get into. So don't just tune in for me, though, and listen to me. Yeah, tune in for everyone else, because there are some awesome people in that tournament that I'm for real so excited to just be a part of, get to meet, get to know. Like, I hope y'all get to meet and know them too, whether it's watching it on my stream or more importantly watching it on any of their streams. Just give that support to everyone, man. Share the love with everyone, because I for real appreciate all y'all. Now with that being said, stay epic. Peace.